The game source released the new fact about the Warhammer Age of Sigmar 4th edition Skaventide, the 23 October 2024. You have to pay attention because we see only the updated about this, so that if you're interested about the previous one, you can find the link in the description. So each time I bring up only the new things, the new updates, and you have to pay attention because inside here there is the update also about the points and the Battletome of the Stromcast Eternals, even if technically it should have been released later, so the 26th October 2024. So pay attention about this. I know that I made a not good review about such type of improving the Battletome or the codex for Warhammer 40k, but this case I think that it's a bit different because it's a little adjusting about the rules so that it's a rephrasing, and about the points anyway are available only in this document, so you have to pay attention about such difference because it's important. So let's start to see about the changes. And so we can see about the change point for the Stromcast Eternals. There's been quite a lot of unit that has changed the amount of points, but improving the amount so that it's decreasing point. Still, I want to remind you that the mass part of the unit has seen remaining, so go to see if it's involve your type of rooster, or you are glad because something that you was not able to include, now you are. So it's the Celestial Prime that has seen a great discount on point, so 40 points, and I think that it's quite a lot. Same for the Gardus Steel Souls, that it's 30 points, and Draxstorm Templar, that it's 20 points, so you can say quite a bit. Also, the Knight Dracon is 30 points, so if you sum about the amount of points that you can save eventually you have an additional unit that come in, so it's really quite important. Also, the Knight Questor has seen improvement in points. Only Crondis has seen decrease, so that you see that you have to spend more, but sincerely it being a main model inside your army, I don't think that it's so bad in this case, because it's 20 points, but it's still quite excessive, and you can save in other models eventually, so not a problem. Also, the Lord Aquilus seen a decrease on point, so it's something that I quite like. Also, the Lord Celestial on Star Drake has seen a little decrease. Has been changed a bit about the Lord Terminus for the regiment option, but it's not a problem because it's something that anyway it's quite welcome. Moreover, because it's been introduced with the new Battletome, the Ruination Chambers, so it had to be changed this part. Also, the Lord Veritant and the Lord Vigilant on Gift Stalk has seen a decrease on point. Same for the Whirlwind, the Annihilators, and the Annihilators with the Meteoric Hammers, Grand Hammers. So it's quite a few of things that has been changed. Not many, maybe, but quite a few. Also, the Stormdrake Guard that has seen a decrease on point. So you can find that on this, it's not a problem, because if you want to make drakes, you can save from the Stormdrake. So it's really quite intriguing. Also, the Vanguard Palador with the Star Strike Javelins, and the Vanguard Raptor with the Hurricane Crossbow has seen a decrease on point. Moreover, the second one, so it's something that you can start to think about. It's really quite intriguing. Then we have also the Vindicators that are a basic troop, so it's really quite important seeing them decreased in points. So it's still by still really quite intriguing. And then we can scroll and see if there is something little less changed and so on, because there's been eventually some little updates sometimes. But the only thing that I want to make you notice, it's about the Skaven, because I've seen a little adjustment about the basing that they were mistaken before. And so, because they have a new Battletome yet, so it's little thing, it's not a problem technically, because it was something that it was yet like this, it was only a mistake about an errata courage to make. So it's really quite intriguing to see such options. As you can see, has not been changed anything else, so it's something that you have to think about. And then we can move directly to the Regiment of Renown, because there has not been any more changes about point or other things here, so it's really quite the same. It's nothing new. And the only thing that has been changed about the Regiment of Renown, it's about the Kratos Club Pack and the Vote Close Engine Coven. So that has been adjusted about this regiment or renown can be included in the factions, so that it's the Beast of Chaos strangers that are still named, because technically should be declassed quite soon. But anyway, I hope that it will be something that it's provisory, so that it will be released a new army with a new name, maybe, so that maybe has a trademark, and so being renewed as army and as models. So it's the armies related about the chaos, and it's obvious like this. So it's simply another adjustment about those things. About the legends, I can't see anything that has been changed, so pay attention about this. And the only thing that is missing after seeing this part, it's about the chorus and the facts themselves. So let's start to see the changes. About the chorus, we see about the modifier order, that see that add the following: the effect of some ability, for example, the an excess of depravity, allow you to replace a roll with a fixed value. When do so, you must replace the roll before rolling the dice for it. This it's quite intriguing, because it means that you can decide based on the rolling, but you have to sacrifice the dice before to know what you rolled, so that you are not having the advantage of knowing yet that you made the right choice. So I think that it's okay. Then we have about the strike first and strike last. So in the first sentence, replace at the start of the phase with after any non-fight combat phase abilities has been used. So it's simply timing that has been perfected. So as I said, it's not something peculiar. Then we had the returning and added the models. So we replace in every case set up those models one at a time in a currency with the models in that unit that were not returned or added with this turn, with in either case set up those models once at a time, as we've seen previously, within currency range of the models in that unit that were not returned or added this turn, as before. But if the turn unit has 7 or models, including the model being set up, it must be set up within currency range at least 2 other models in that unit that were not returned or added this turn. This it's technically okay, because it's following simply the ways that you have to move and deploy their unit. So it's not a problem, and it's something that I thought that it was okay. Now it's even better, because it's perfectly making that you have to follow the same rules for every time that you need. So I think that it's really quite okay in such a way, really. Then about the war scrolls, that it's about the fact themselves. So how should I resolve an ability that refers to an enemy control characteristic, for example, the Shroudage fragment, if the target does not have a control characteristic, for example, a manifestation? The target is treated as having a control characteristic of 0. I think that it's perfect like this, because it's not having any, so even if you make under, is still 0, because it can't go under 0 anyway as a result. So okay, it's simply clarifying in this case, so pay attention about this. Then about the start of the battle round. When determining the active player, how do you determine when a player has finished setting up their army? A player has finished setting up their army when all units in their army has been deployed. This means that not deployment phase abilities, for example the mask and then the stance abilities, happen after your army has finished setting up. So it's simply a clarifying, as I said, it's really quite simple as option. Then about the part about the replacement units. If a destroy unit has the enhancement and an ability allow me to set up a replacement of that unit, will the replacement unit also have that enhancement? I say no. And I think that it's understandable, because technically it's a completely different unit. It's a substitute to the previous one. So it's lost the enhancement. I think that it's perfect, but this it's quite useful, because make you understand that you can't have this enhancement maintained. So avoid any misunderstanding in this case. So I perfectly agree with this. Then we have the part about the advanced rules. And about the advanced rules, there is not any new FAQ or so on, but better errata and so on, but there is a single new FAQ that has been brought, and it's about the army composition, the regiment of renown. If a regiment of renown includes a wizard, could that wizard cast spells from a universal manifestation lore that was picked for that army? And say yes, because it's a universal manifestation lore. So remember that if it's not, you can't, because it's specific with the keywords for that specific army, so you are limited about. This technically should be normal, but it's better to understand this, because technically it could happen that the unique wizard that you have it's from the army of renown. So it's better to be sure that you can cast without any problem. So you can choose the universal manifestation lore, the parts that you need, and be able to use. So understandable this, because it's something that it could be really quite useful in my opinion. So it's perfectly understandable. About the glossary, we don't have anything new. Also about the match you play First Blood, the Spearhead, Fire and Jade. But we've seen a little change that it's important about the China Handbook 24-25 about the Battletome Star Strike. That it's really quite important, because it replaces in the twist. If an objective will be set up wholly or partially on a terrain feature, does not do so. Instead, inflict d6 mortal damage on each unit wholly or partially on that terrain feature. This it's technically still remaining, but has been completely changed with if an objective will be set up wholly or partially on a faction terrain feature, that terrain feature and any units on it are destroyed. Then the objective is set up normally. So it's really a cataclysm for the terrain feature and the units that are garrisoning or on it. So quite awesome, this better, not awesome, but problematic. If the objective would be set up on a wholly or partially on other terrain features, so as we've seen in the original part, do not do so. Instead, inflict d6 mortal damage on each unit wholly or partially on that terrain feature. So, as we've seen, has been added the part so related about the faction terrain feature. And so you have to pay attention when you are going to play with this battle plan, because you have to study where those objectives could fall, because otherwise you risk to lose the terrain feature for the faction, but moreover also the units on it. So you have to pay a bit of attention of not being on it and play safe about. So it's really quite intriguing, because it changed a bit the way, but a lot, the way that you can use the Battletome Star Strike. So you have to think about, because it's really quite important. Then had the update about the faction packs. I want to remember you that here you have to see if you're interested about, because there had been some changes eventually that could be related about your specific army and so on. For example, about the head unit of Slanesh that see every time something little changing or so on. Also about the Luminate eventualmente Realm Lord that has seen a little changes, and you have to see if you're interested about, because obviously it's related about your army, so you have to understand what it is about. Also the marketing of Nargo has seen a little update, and here we have also about Lord Cloak that I want to remember you, and also the Master Master has been renewed the last time, so it has been updated again something, and always the same rules. So it seems that Juvo is not able to find something that it's perfect about how to make these rules related. Okay, still they are really quite amazing ones, so pay attention about such little changes eventually. Also about the Subagavos, we have something related about the Lokavai Martyr or the Nightmare, so that the Crest type Impaling Talons replace charge this phase and so on. The Vampire Lord remove the core keyword for the Sanguinary Blur ability. The Belladama Volga the Sea, the first of the vehicles, so that has seen a little change. So something that it's little changes compared to before and so on, little adjustment at the end. So pay attention, because it can be really quite important in the case of your armies. And then how about the faction pack facts. And then how about the facts for the faction packs. So we have the news ones. So for example, the Can Sister of Slaughter with Sacrificial Knives of the Daughter's Gain. unit use the Dance of Death ability to move out of combat, and say yes. So literally, this you have to see if you're going to play one of such armies. And then has something new that it's written about the Battletomes, because I want to remember that has been released the first two Battletomes, but one and one that close to the release about such facts. So we have about the Skaven and about the Stromcast Eternals. So about the Skaven, it's technically simply a rephrasing, because for example, the plug pack, if the effect of the plug route ability replace chanting roll of 1 with a modified chanting roll of 1, so it's simply a rephrasing with the modified roll. Then armies of renown Tankos mutated menagerie, you have to add the following at the beginning of the effect: the monstrous entourage. The companion weapon abilities has not effect on the mutated menagerie units, so it's okay. And in Ravaging Demise and Spider Swarms, replace when this unit is destroyed, when this unit will be destroyed. So literally simple rephrasing about, and also about the fact about here we can find that if I pick a friendly Stormfiend unit as the target of the Field Crust player with a chanty roll of 8+, how will the crit mortal weapon ability interact with the shock gauntlet ability? And here say that the crit mortal weapon ability would inflict mortal damage on the target unit equal to the damage characteristic, and the attack sequence would end. So shock gauntlet would have no further effect. So simple but explaining. If an enemy unit is affected by the Gaze of New ability and must attack the wizard score, can the models in that unit that are not within combat range of wizard score after piling in attack? And say no. Okay, again, simple, understandable things. If a warp grinder picks another warp grinder unit to be set up in the tunnels below using the tunnel skulker ability, can both of those units use the warp ambush ability to attempt to set up the units on the battlefield? And say yes. Okay, so little things, but that can avoid any misunderstanding. It's better for understandable, so it's not a problem. And then about the Stromcast Eternals ones that see some errata, and also it's really quite important to understand about this, so pay attention, because we have, for example, that we had the Battletome Stormcast Eternals to be about the same, simply that it had this unit can use this ability while it is in reserve. So it's simply an add-in, and it's quite strong, because it means that even if it's out of the battlefield, it still works. About the Storm Strike Paladus that see the change of the hit characteristic of the Grief Charge Talons weapon to 4+, and it's important because before it was 5+, so okay. Then about the Vanguard Raptors with Hurricane Crossbow, change the timing of coordinating strike to your shooting phase. Sincerely, it's not something completely changeable, it's simply that it's the timing change, but it was yet like this, so not a problem. Then about the Lord Vigilant on more grief that change if the effect of the vice grip replace the target cannot be picked as the target of command with the target cannot use command. And this it's really quite important, because it means that it changes what it can do. So one thing is to be picked as target so that it can receive from other that cannot use command. It means that it cannot give also, so pay attention about such thing. And then the thing that has changed most, that it's about the Dice Arcanum, because if the Arcane Enhancement ability changed the first bullet point to that unit as a word of fly plus and fly, so it added the keyword fly, and so it's really quite important as a way to move. Then add the following bullet point: if that unit is picked to make a piling move this manifestation instead. And this it's important because it means that the unit that is transported technically it's picked up and based on the movement of such one. So okay, not bad. And then we had the change about the final sentence: if the unit on the platform is removed from the battlefield, immediately remove this manifestation from play. Before it was if destroyed, here it's removed. So pay attention, because it's a little different, but could change the way that you approach, because it has a better way, because it means that even if you make some translocation so on, and so leave behind this Dice Arcanum, this is destroyed, because it has been removed from the play, because maybe it can be put on the side and so on. So pay a bit attention because it enlarges the way that you could use such thing. Then about the Envies of Apotheosis. Okay, you have to use these to be able to use such thing, but it's always welcome. So okay, it's something that I love, the Envies of Apotheosis. So I suggest you to try because it's really quite fun and wonderful. Then about the Path to Glory, that it's up to you if you decide. About the Armies of Renown, the Heroes of the Forge, in the roster option box in the first bullet point replace must be included and must be your general. With this unit gains the World Master keyword must be included and must be your general. So simply that has also the keyword World Master. It's simply an additional part. And the part that it's the rules reference that changed the first sentence of the effect summary of the Summon Days Arcanum to target friendly non-fly Stromcast Eternals infantry hero wholly within 12 inch. Okay, simply as I said, some little not changes but clarifying. The real change that we can call it's about the Paradox that has seen the change about the hitting, that it's the real one. The other things are simply little adjustment about also the Dice Arcanum. It's perfect understandable that has the keyword fly. So little things, but I think that are really quite welcome. So to say about such facts, I think that they are really quite useful. They are mainly about little clarifying and so on. So I think that it's okay, no problem at all. Remember that these are useful because they are little adjustment. The main part about these facts are related about points, so that you can have adjusted points related. So it's okay. And the other things that has been brought are something that avoid the misunderstanding. So if you remove the part about the part of the points, the part about the Army of Renown and the legends that could be put in another document without any problem, there are not so many. And each time that we are going to see the release of a Battletome, we see a decrease about for example, the army parts that could be adjusted and so on, and eventually the dedicated part related about the Battletome. And I quite like because you can find all the facts for all the Battletome in the same document. That could be messy because, okay, you have every time to see which one has been modified and so on, but it's written what has been changed, so you don't have any problem to find because it's clearly seeable what has been updated and so on, and so it's not so difficult. I quite like in such a way, so I'm really quite enjoying such type of fact compared to the ones about the Warhammer 40k ones. So okay, maybe because there are not so many, but nice. Anyway, from that mode it's everything. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell so to receive notification about new video, to comment under here about this video, or if you want to suggest me new videos. So I hope to see you again to the next time.